Now, this device is comparable to your standard laptop keyboard, and real-time tracking by MLB data is being turned into haptic vibrations and audio cues for visually impaired fans to track every pitch and every play.
Back in the late 80s, Norman was grinding out workouts and practices as a Sun Devil guard, playing for a program that rarely made headlines. Now, after 18 powerful seasons at Louisville, she returns home, not to relive on the past, but to create future memories for Sun Devil women's basketball.
If you're really lucky, one of these bobbleheads will be golden, and whoever finds it will receive an autographed Devin Booker jersey.
It's fields like the one behind me here where this event is taking place that Diamondbacks outfielder Alec Thomas partook in his RBI program back in his hometown in Chicago.
Rossini did not want to discuss how the money will be split among athletes, but he did say the settlement would help benefit women's sports. The trade deadline is fast approaching, and speculation surrounds Eugenio Suarez, Josh Naylor, Merrill Kelly, and Zach Gallen, who are all free agents after this season. And some league executives believe Arizona has no choice but to sell. For fans like Adonis Watt, following sports once meant relying on radio calls and fan noise. But now everything changes thanks to a new device.
I like it. It's been real consistent, real cool, and just real accurate, and it's fast too. So it's like you really watching a game for real.
Sitting among thousands of fans at Chase Field, Watt keeps his hands moving, tracking every vibration across the one-court device.
The movement, you gotta feel around. You gotta be active with your hands, but that's the thing. It's a lot of information, and that's what's best. I'd rather have too much information than not enough.
He's not alone in wanting more information. Max Ashton at the Foundation for Blind Children became one of the first to try the device at Chase Field and says the details make all the difference.
As someone who's visually impaired, every little bit of description I can get, every little bit of a tactile representation of something, I'm always dying for more.
The Arizona Diamondbacks became the first MLB team to partner with OneCourt, making moments like this possible. The D-Backs Foundation will partner with other local nonprofits serving the blind and low vision community with free tickets.
We hosted a group from Foundation for Blind Children. One girl told her mom that sports were boring until she experienced this device. And she was blind and had never been able to see the game, but now that she had this device, she experienced the game in a whole new way.
OneCourt began as an idea in a classroom at the University of Washington, and with connections to Pacific Northwest sports teams, that idea took off.
The Cortland Trailblazers played a huge role in that. Early on, they were one of our biggest supporters.
Now, this device is comparable to your standard laptop keyboard, and real-time tracking by MLB data is being turned into haptic vibrations and audio cues for visually impaired fans to track every pitch and every play. For the D-backs, the decision to join the mission came naturally.
I know with our organization, we love to give back into the community, and I think as players, we try and take pride in that.
For visually impaired fans, it's more than just following the score. It's finally being part of the game.
I don't remember watching baseball like that, so it's harder for me to connect to it. So with this, it's an easy connection I can make.
At Chase Field and other ballparks nationwide, OneCourt is opening up the game into something fans can truly feel. In Phoenix, Brandon Cadiz, Cronkite News. Stephanie Norman spent nearly 2 decades helping Jeff Walz make Louisville a powerhouse program, reaching Final Fours in deep tournament runs. But long before that, her basketball journey started in Tempe.
I had a brown little Nissan pickup truck with no air conditioning. I remember driving down University going, maybe someday I could come back here, and it kind of was a fleeting thought.
That someday became a reality this spring when Norman rejoined the Sun Devils, not as a player, but as associate head coach and director of basketball strategy.
The more I shared my vision of how I wanted to incorporate her in the program and where I wanted to get this program to, it was kind of an opportunity for her that made sense.
While Norman initially said no to joining Miller's staff, Miller's vision and ASU's potential changed her mind.
She's like, you would be a perfect fit for our culture, for the way we want to play, how we want to go about this business. And from there, I was like, let's do it.
Back in the late 80s, Norman was grinding out workouts and practices as a Sun Devil guard, playing for a program that rarely made headlines. Now, after 18 powerful seasons at Louisville, she returns home, not to relive on the past, but to create future memories for Sun Devil women's basketball.
Senior guard Marley Washenitz, who transferred from Pitt and played against Norman's Louisville teams, says Norman's presence was felt immediately.
Everything's pretty detail oriented, and she's super intense, but at the same time, she's my biggest cheerleader. She's gonna push me and to be the best version of myself, but at the same time, she's gonna be supportive.
For Norman, this isn't just a career move. She wants to build something that leaves a legacy at Arizona State.
I'm in a space of gratitude. I just want to give back to the program that gave me so much. So this is really a full circle moment.
Norman started at ASU chasing a dream. Now she's back helping others chase theirs through a winning culture, just like she did in Louisville. In Tempe, Brandon Cadiz, Cronkite News.
Brandon Cadiz joins us now from the newsroom with more details on the future of NIL at Arizona State.
Yes, Steve, I had the opportunity to speak with Arizona State Athletic Director Graham Rossini about how the House versus NCAA settlement will affect Arizona State athletics this season. Rossini did not want to discuss how the money will be split among athletes, but he did say the settlement would help benefit women's sports.
Title IX being, compliance being a talk of this new model, how is ASU able to ensure the gender equity among the revenue split?
Well, the Title IX has always been a driving force in all the decisions that we make. That's important for our institution. It's always been important for our athletics department. That's why we're adding over 200 scholarships. And so 85% of our athletes, both male and female, will now be on scholarship. We've added almost 100 on the female side going into next year. Female sports will be participants in rev share. So we're very much looking across our ecosystem in athletics and making sure that we're resourcing all sports, not putting these new resources into just one or two.
And I got to ask you this question. What's the revenue split going to be looking like for Arizona State athletics?
Yeah, that's not a decision that we're going to be talking about publicly. We've got a handful of sports that'll be the benefactor of it. Our focus has been on how do we resource all 26 of our sports by adding to their operational budget, increasing scholarships significantly, and making sure that we're giving all 26 a chance to compete at the highest possible level.
Will coaches and programs have an influence in that?
In terms of how the revenue share? Yeah. A little bit. I mean, we've got a method to the madness. It's, again, not a formula that's worth talking about publicly. It's something that we make a decision within our walls and with President Crow's feedback on where those dollars need to go. Naturally, football and basketball are going to be the key recipients of that. There are a few others as well. But we're in fluid conversations with our coaches about everything they need to be successful in this new environment. And I've said this a lot over the last year that we want to resource our coaches to lead at the highest possible level. We need their feedback. We need their insights on what they're up against in the recruiting trails, what they think can really help propel our programs forward, and we want to go fight to get them those resources.
And, right down the street here in Phoenix, we saw the GCU men's volleyball program being cut. Mm-hmm. Do you, dealing with that, how do you think ASU is going to protect those Olympic and non-revenue sports to prevent that from happening?
I think we've already taken a big step forward in the scholarships that we've added. And again, over 200 scholarships that are benefiting all 26 of our sports. We've had great heritage and great success in a lot of our Olympic sports. That was intended to allow them to take a huge step forward and resource scholarships as a recruiting tool in a way that a lot of other institutions haven't been able to do. I've seen maybe less than a dozen in the country that are adding significantly. There's schools in our conference that are actually eliminating scholarships for some sports to be able to put those into football and baseball and other sports to make a need. And so, increasing scholarships, increasing program budgets is intended to put all of our programs on stable footing. And we want to continue to, again, generate revenue, drive a better business in support of all 26 of our programs.
While this was only just a few topics Rossini and I discussed, other issues we touched on included how the newly enacted College Sports Commission would hold college programs accountable and how to increase revenue to fit the $20.5 million ASU has to pay athletes. Our extended version of our interview can be viewed on Cronkite News' YouTube channel. In the newsroom, Brandon Cadiz, Cronkite News.